So here in the UK, the clocks went back over the weekend, giving us an extra hour in the day on Sunday. And I don't know about you, but I kind of love it when that happens because it feels so luxurious to have that extra time available. We've all got busy lives, and sometimes it would be nice to have 25 hours in the day. Now, if you are someone who feels as if you are always running against the clock and there are never enough hours in the day, then I want to invite you to think about how quitting drinking can help you claw some of that time back. Alcohol is a massive time thief. It literally just steals time here and there without you even noticing. And to be clear, I'm not just talking about the time lost to drinking and actually being drunk. I mean, that is part of it and definitely something to consider. But I know you might well be watching this thinking, well, most of the time I drink, I'm actually doing something else like cooking or getting chores done. I'd be doing that stuff anyway, so it doesn't feel like a massive time trap. But really, the drinking part of drinking is just one small part of it all. You've also got to account for the time lost to recovering from drinking. I mean, a bad hangover could see you lose hours the next day. And even if it's not that bad and you just kind of power through, you are going to be more sluggish and slower, and basic tasks will take longer. And then you've got all the mental chatter as well. The time you lose beating yourself up about your drinking, worrying about it, Googling for answers and scrolling through sites like this. And then you've got all the time you lose battling with yourself about whether you're going to drink tonight, going back and forth and feeling so distracted that you might not really be in the moment anymore and concentrating on what you're meant to be doing. And I should say, if you've got a tendency to do things you regret whilst drinking, you've also got to consider the time spent mopping that all up the next day. That takes up plenty of time and energy. Take it from someone who knows. And then, on top of all those things, you've got the time you lose trying to make your life accommodate your drinking. So, not being able to drive because you really want to drink, or maybe spending time with people who aren't great friends but also like to drink a lot. Then there's the time you lose ruminating over the same issues again and again, such as how much you hate your boss without ever actually doing anything about it because you just drink over it instead, and that seems to stop you from taking action. And then there's the time you lose doing stuff you can't remember properly, whether it's not being able to remember the storyline to a film you just sat through and watched, or not being able to remember the conversation you've been having with the people you care about. All that time is lost. And then there's the time you lose because you're not able to follow through on your plans. You know, whether it's feeling unwell so you actually have to cancel, or being too ill to really enjoy something. Can you see how all those different factors contribute to any free time you have in the day just being like hoovered up and snatched away? And you end up with that feeling of not having any space in your life, and then that makes you want to drink even more to get away and get a break from that feeling. Personally, I think that when I was drinking, I might have lost an hour of my life every day, an average of 1 hour for all the things that I've just described. So I've been alcohol free for more than 7 years, so that's at least 2,500 hours I've saved, which is more than 100 days of my life. And actually, I think that 1 hour figure could be a massive underestimate. I want to share a post with you that I saw the other day from Caroline, who's a student on my Getting Unstuck course, my Stop Drinking class. Caroline's in my October group, who are all doing brilliantly. And here is what she wrote. Here's some maths. Drinking me would feel like death warmed up until about 1 o'clock. Then I'd have 5 or 6 hours in my day to get things done, go out, meet friends, do everything I needed to before the 6 p.m. rule when I poured that first drink, and so the cycle went on and on. So I could count only 6 hours in any 24-hour period where I was functional, albeit still feeling anxious, cross with myself, and worrying about whether or not to drink that evening. The new alcohol-free me regularly wakes up at 6:30 a.m, fully refreshed after a fantastic 8-hour sleep. I go to bed sober at 10:30 at the latest, although sometimes I'll go to bed at 9 if I'm feeling naturally tired. So in my book, that's at least 14 and a half hours of productivity, fun, and being creative, which I love. 14 and a half minus 6 is 8.5. So that's a whole 8.5 more hours in my day. I have now more than doubled my life. And those hours are my new happy hours. Kind of blew me away, that post. I mean, it really shows the impact that alcohol can have on your time and your quality of life, but also how hard it is to recognize that when you're in the middle of it. When you're convinced that alcohol is essential, or that it's helping you in some way, and that it's creating ease and space in your life, then it's easy to miss the truth that's staring you in the face. It's hard to see that alcohol is the problem. It is the time thief and the thing that is making life feel so tight and stressful in the first place. So I hope this video encourages you to think about how alcohol is really dominating your time, because those hours add up. And ultimately, we're talking about your life here, your one and only life. So, I'm Kate B. Please scroll down below and let me know what you think about this. How much time has alcohol been taking from you? I'd love to hear some figures, so let me know below, and I hope you have a great week.